point I've been in that position where you're interviewing somebody and they're saying shit that you kind of know that you should have something to say in rebuttal that's better than what actually is going on in your head. We probably both experienced it with Nick Fuentes last night,
yesterday.
where he's just spinning this web of facts, and you're just sitting there like, dude, like I don't know enough about history or genetics to argue with you. So you just kind of have to let them say what they're gonna say. And it's like with Nori, it's like he was saying wild shit that you really have to say something at that point, you know? Like I was super conscious of that in the Nick Fuentes thing. Like if he's gonna say I fucking don't believe how many people died in the Holocaust, then I gotta have something to say about like,
You know what's crazy?
Nazis are right.
give it a Google. You'll
the-
see that most
that
of
was
the
the-
historians agree on
The
this.
number one time where I was like, do not nod your head. Do not nod your head. Do not nod your head. Do not nod your head.
I saw a comment like AD gonna be just nodding his head the whole time.
That's it. Do not nod your head. Do not nod your head.
But that's like literally in direct opposition of what we were just saying about Flacco. So there's two sides of that coin then, essentially. Like you can't come in too hot, but then you can't be too complicit at the same time.
This is
Like,
true. That's very true. It's definitely a balance.
How do you think it went yesterday?
I mean, I thought it went pretty good. I think like some people are going to be fucking upset at just the fact that we talked to Nick in the first place. I think we are going to edit out the Holocaust minimalism just because.
Yeah.
Listen, you can hear.
No Jumper Clips channel.
I mean, do you get to just put that on the Patreon or what? Like there was that was the one thing that worried me of like, what is YouTube going to say about this? And my YouTube rep has actually asked to see it before we make it go live.
Oh, wow.
So like, just because I sent it to her and I was just like, listen, I just wanted to throw this your way to get your thoughts on it. I know he's banned off the platform. He said some stuff about the Holocaust that is going to be suspect. Although, to be real, he kept it very minimal in the sense that he was questioning, why are you not allowed to question the narrative about how many Jews died, etc. He didn't say, I do not believe that. You know, he kept it more of like a questioning tone, which is one of his tricks, allegedly.
I feel like when
you know?
Sneeko got in there, he made it like more amplified.
A little bit.
Oh, Sneeko was a part of the interview too?
Yeah.
Nico came in partway through, and that sort of
Because they came straight from their Hitler Youth meeting beforehand.
He felt a little bit more emboldened around Sneeko. That might be fair to say, yeah. But then the other stuff that he said though was just like pretty much the exact same shit that Kanye said about George Floyd, and he died from a fentanyl overdose, whatever. And it's like, you know, I push back, but at the same time, this is someone who's deeply invested in pushing his narrative of how George Floyd died. So it behooves him to study the fuck out of this and have all these facts on deck about this is what the autopsy said and yada, yada, yada. And then meanwhile, I'm a normal fucking person that has read about this, but realistically, it has been 2 years. And it's like, it's not like I have everything fucking memorized to argue with you about a video that I saw 2 years ago, you know? So it is a weird place to put yourself in, arguing with these out of the box people.
Well, yeah, you don't have an account on Parler. You know what I mean?
I felt like me and you was just doop, 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 doop. And then Flock was like, I like you, guy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man.
Well,
Flacco loves him.
Did you press his line though, AD? Like, were you like
I
over
went-
the racist comments or alleged racist comments?
I brought up everything, and I went to the points where I was like, okay, I don't want to come off as like too aggressive or angry because I know that could be used against me. But it was like one part in there when Sneeko said something, I was like, I don't give a fuck about that, or like, I don't give a damn about that, or something like that. And I was like, let me dial it back because then it's going, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to play into that stereotype. But
you don't want to be the angry black man.
Exactly.
But AD's first statement to Nick Fuentes was just, I saw something where you said that black people don't jog.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't really be jogging. I be a little big right now, but black people do jog.
Way to perpetuate stereotypes,
That
AD.
was funny as fuck.
You know what though? What's crazy to me is, as off-brand as you might think, or people might think that an interview like this would be on the No Jumper channel, I guarantee you, as we speak, there's people spamming the live comments as we
yeah.
speak.
Oh,
Where's
yesterday
Nick?
was bad.
Where's Nick?
That's one thing
Where's
you
Nick?
realize when you look at Twitter and shit is that he has a huge fan base
For sure.
regardless.
Yeah, vocal.
And they are talking about this
I
because
was-
they know this is a big deal for him because he doesn't really get to go on mainstream shows. It's kind of funny to think of
I
this as
was
a
trying to
mainstream
get
show. but-
everything out of him, and he was not. He
Wasn't going.
No, I kept asking him, like, what do you think about black people? He's like, oh, I love black people.
I love
But
black
then
art.
he'll say
Love
something
Kanye
else.
West.
Because my great grandfather owned several of them. They're great.
But he kept doing that, and it was like the whole time. Me and Adam was like, we were going, but then it went from African Americans, and then it just went total Jewish people, and then it went left. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, they'll see it. It might drop tomorrow, or it might drop the day after that. We're not really sure, but it is coming.
That's going to be high-powered content.
I mean, yeah. I'm honestly the most.
I think I should drop it today.
I think his fans would be. I would drop it right now, but it's been processing all day. I don't know why the Nick Fuentes interview for some reason takes like 8 hours to process, where usually it doesn't. But YouTube, I don't know. It's kind of fishy. But apparently, like,
sounds like another conspiracy.
maybe like 20 employees need to watch it. I think his fans will like it because we gave him a fair shot and we weren't dickheads to him or anything like that.
Wasn't.
And I think our fans will like it because I think that we were fair about it. I'm more interested in seeing what like the mega social justice warriors who won't even bother to watch it will say, because for some reason they're gonna be the ones pushing the line of like, look at them platforming a neo-Nazi, yada yada.
Right.
You know?
So, but like, then it's like there's two sides of that coin, because to an extent we are platforming him, but on another extent, it's like we're giving people a controversial interview that's way edgier than any other platform of this nature is going to touch.
Right.
Which is a necessary thing.
I would hope that interview would not be an infomercial for white nationalism or whatever. Like, but then it's weird because it's like that is kind of the risk that you're taking. It's like maybe he does such a good job of presenting his point of view that some percentage of the fans are just taken by it and they just fuck with it and they run with it and they're fucking in a Aryan Nation gang at some point or whatever. You know, it's like that's kind of like the compromise of like. But I don't know. I think it's fair to fucking hear somebody out. Sneeko was the bridge because Sneeko's the one who
Sneeko was definitely the bridge.
basically advocated for me to be willing to have a conversation with him, you know?
You know, any type of fringe hate group, regardless of nationality, nature of origin, or just the way it's comprised overall, what they all have in common is they target people, and people that are attracted to them are people that feel rejected and like they don't have a voice and disenfranchised. So then they find their identity in these fringe hate groups.
The weird thing with him, though, is that he doesn't come off like he's like a hateful kind of guy, you know? It's like, it's very much not like, I don't have anything against black people. I just only want to marry a white woman, and I want to basically live around white people, and I want to be in my little white bubble. And he feels like that about everybody, which is
and
not...
his argument is if a black person says that about black people, it's not considered racist.
Right.
So why can't he feel that way about
And it is kind of hard to like argue with that when we had Tariq Nasheed on here, basically damn near saying the same thing. I'm sure Reza Islam feels similarly, you know, like I don't begrudge anybody who wants to live in their own little racially isolated world. Like, for sure, if you want to do that, I mean, we give the Hasidic Jews a pass to do that, right? We give Muslims a pass to do that.
That's the one thing. If you as a white man, if you want to mess with a white woman, that's you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at all that.
Yeah.
The comments that I've seen and the things that were sent to me, that's what made me, you know, I'm like, nah, this shit ain't cool.
But we
I
called
don't
him
care.
out on a lot of that stuff.
But I was
you know?
like, it don't matter if it's a joke or not, because everybody says, oh, this is a joke. And I'm like, nah, it's truth to every joke. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
But he does make a good point that in order to find the really offensive statements, like I called him out about this one thing of this leaked audio of him saying that a white girl fucking a black guy is the same thing as a white girl fucking a dog, or not the same thing, but they're both degenerate acts. And, you know, he makes a good point that it's like, we have to go to leaked audio from when he was 18 in order to like find some super ignorant statements, you know, or like super
Did he
offensive.
acknowledge that that's ignorant though, or is that just?
He gave a little bit on it.
he said it was a joke.
Yeah, he tried to make it seem okay. So
The whole interview, there's nothing in there like you would think that he was like, oh, you could point that out, like, oh yeah, he said it right there, like.
And that's why people are scared of him, is because he comes off kind of likable.
But that's even at the end of the interview, I was like, I don't know about you, Nick. You got like super villain vibes from me or something like that.
But if he was your neighbor, do you think that you would just be like, "What's up, Nick? How you doing?"
If I heard he said that shit?
No, like just if he was your neighbor right now and you just saw him once in a while when you're getting into your car, like you wouldn't give a fuck, right?
If I've seen that shit, then I'll be. I don't know. I ain't gonna tell you what I would.
You want to let the air out of his tires?
I'm just saying.
Because
What if he was your neighbor in Compton?
I don't think he would last that long.